Good girl. You ready to get ready for bed?
When I built up my van, I designed it to feel as unlike the interior of a vehicle as possible, and instead as a teeny house perfectly curated for me. Yes, it may only be around 80 square feet, but it is home nonetheless. So even though I never really know where my backyard will be, making my life inherently unpredictable, I've managed to find stability in my evening routine. As you'll see pretty soon here, my van feels the most magical during my evenings, with the twinkle lights on and a hot cup of tea in hand. And no matter where I am in the world, whether it's trying to stay a little stealthy in a residential neighborhood or at a Walmart parking lot in the middle of a busy city, my unassuming silver van opens up for me into a magical little space. Turning down for the night often starts by putting up my janky window coverings. If you happen to watch my morning routine video, you'll know these were made by yours truly, and they aren't exactly my best work. I originally tried Velcro for these, but they were a bit weak. Magnets sewn into the fabric is definitely the way to go. I also have an insulated privacy curtain between the cab and the driver's seats, which I close every evening. As I was saying before, my van feels the most magical every night, and I owe a lot of that to my twinkle lights. I'll link them in the description box below in case you're interested. On this particular day, I was able to get a shower at a family member's house in the town I'm in, so I didn't have to bathe in the van. On most evenings, I have a strategy for bathing that might not be ideal for those of you unfamiliar with the restriction of a very limited water supply. Every night, without fail, I heat up a full water kettle, both for bathing and for a cup of tea. I don't currently have hot water in my van otherwise. Then I fill up a big old bowl of very hot water, place a towel on my floor to avoid splashes, get a few washcloths, and I do a little sponge bath. If I need to wash my hair, I usually get an even bigger bowl of hot water so that I can at least end with a hot rinse rather than giving myself a constant brain freeze, though I always have to use a bit of cold water to rinse out my shampoo. I'll be honest, of late I've been opting for more quarter-operated showers, or if I'm very lucky, showers at a friend's house or at a family member's house so that I can avoid that whole hair washing ordeal. On this night, I felt grateful to be heating up hot water simply to wash my face one last time and to make a cup of lavender chamomile tea. While I wait for the water to heat, I transform my daytime office and dining room back into bed mode. I'm sure most of you will not be surprised in the slightest when I admit to you that converting my bed into office mode is rarer than I'd like to admit. Though I've said it, and I'll say it again, I still wouldn't trade it for a fixed bed. I like options. I am tempted to show you all what my seat cushions look like without their covers, but maybe in a future video. I was unable to get access to an electric turkey cutter that would have made clean cuts, and instead I wound up tearing through my 8-inch memory foam mattress with a steak knife. Take my word for it, it is not a pretty picture. Luckily, I did make the right measurements, and I still sleep soundly every night in spite of the seams. About the time that I finish making my bed, the water is ready. By this time, I've usually also decided how I'd like to spend my evening. I always keep the collection of books and journals I'm using most often right next to my stove, and on this particular night, I decided to read one of those books. Anna and I recently purchased the same novel, The Midnight Library by Matt Haig, and as I record this voiceover, I've already finished it. We haven't been able to put it down. I want to be fully transparent with you guys, however. Many evenings of my week look like editing late into the night or instead engaging in escapism on my phone or laptop. I am not trying to paint a picture that I am a perfect person always engaging in good habits, but I have been trying to live more intentionally, and for me, that has been about looking at my phone less and engaging in the hobbies I enjoy more. Once I've decided what I'd like to do and have made my cup of tea, I am about ready for the final stages of my evening routine, namely that face wash I was talking about earlier. But first, it is time to tuck in Eliza. Oh, and finally shut the door for the night so that I can lock up, which honestly usually takes about 3 or 4 tries.
Jump up. Go on, jump up. Yes, go on, jump up, baby. Good girl. Do you know that you're the best baby doggy? Hmm? I love you. Third time is the charm.
I've been using a few different products for my evening skincare routine. First, I use this coconut milk facial cleanser by Alba, but to be honest, I'm not sure I'll be purchasing it again. I have super sensitive skin, somehow dry and oily at the same time, so if any of you have any recommendations for that, I'd happily accept. Secondly, I use this plant-derived squalane solution by Acure, a company I live by. I just found it recently and it brightens and smooths my skin and I have been loving it. Lastly, I use a prescription of clindamycin phosphate for acne. After skincare, it's finally time for PJs and time to brush teeth. Well, if I've already finished my tea, that is. I also, without fail, make sure to gargle with Listerine every single evening, and I promise that I floss enough. Before too long, I dim the lights, and it's time to read for a bit before my eyes finally grow blurry and it's time for sleep. Tonight, I'd like to leave you all with a few pieces of a passage from Matt Haig's The Midnight Library. It goes like this. It is easy to mourn the lives we are not living. Easy to wish we'd developed other talents, said yes to different offers. Easy to wish we'd worked harder, loved better, handled our finances more astutely. But we don't have to play every game to know what winning feels like. We don't have to hear every piece of music in the world to understand music. We don't have to have tried every variety of grapes from every vineyard to know the pleasure of wine. We just have to close our eyes and savor the taste of the drink in front of us and listen to the song as it plays. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibility. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.